Welcome to Dualshock'd, the Brotherhood of Geeks PlayStation podcast. I am one of your hosts, Brett J. Rasmussen, and over there, I got my other co-host.
Yeah, it's Spectre.
Yeah! This is episode 69. Nice. This is episode 69 of Dualshock'd, the Brotherhood of Geeks PlayStation podcast.
Our sexiest episode yet.
Yeah, it is very sexy because we're going to be talking about E3 2022. Not really. There was no E3 2022.
Okay, the opposite of that. Then,
no actual E3 2022. This is not, parentheses, not E3 2022. Pretty much in this episode, we are going to be talking about everything that has happened over the past like 2+ weeks of all the announcements, all the video game announcements that happened in the beginning of June. Normally that's when E3 happens, but we didn't get E3 officially this year. We got different conferences and showcases and stuff like that. So we're going to be talking about all the different announcements from there. We're going to talk a little bit about State of Play, and then we're going to talk about Summer Game Fest, the Xbox Bethesda Showcase, PC Game Show, which we all did. We did reactions to those. You can go ahead and check out on the channel. Plus, we also did reactions for the Capcom Showcase, the Assassin's Creed 15th Anniversary Showcase, and the Square Enix Final Fantasy 17 one also, which you can go ahead and check out on the channel. I'll put links to all those down in the description. But with all that being said, please, before we begin, subscribe to the channel, youtube.com youtube.com/Brotherhood of Geeks. Press that subscribe button. Also press the like button. That way, if you like our videos, the algorithm knows, hey, you like what we do. Go ahead and watch more stuff. And also, please give us a comment of what you guys think, what you thought about all these conferences. We love to hear it. And you're going to follow all of our socials down in the description, and we'll talk about that later on in the show. But please subscribe to the channel. But with that being said, how you doing, Spectre? What's been going on, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm back into the. I'm kind of making up for lost time. You know, I'm playing a lot of stuff. You know, so a lot of kind of oldies now, but goodies. Like I went back and I did all the achievements. I did another playthrough of Doom 2016. Just as fantastic as it was then, and I'm also doing Doom Eternal, the DLC, the Ancient Gods Part 1 and 2, which I never got around to before, but really awesome. I wish I had done these actually earlier, because it's really just, it's peak Doom Eternal. You have just, it takes everything from the main campaign and just ramps it up to 11. You have you know, demons and stuff everywhere. I mean, it's really like, it makes you like awestruck, like this is all on screen. And I'm not having any, I'm playing on PC, I'm not having any kind of frame rate dropping or any kind of noticeable issues. I mean, it's the sheer amount of crap that's on the screen. It's very impressive. So I finished off Ghostwire Tokyo 100%. I've been kind of making up for lost time here. I've been playing a bunch. Like I had that week and a half or so I couldn't really play anything, or not really easily play anything. So I'm doing all this now and still doing my World of Warships, and I really have just kind of retired temporarily from WoW until Wrath of the Lich King Classic comes out later this year.
Yeah.
I have my cousin sort of borrowing my account right now. He's playing on it, and I will be back in the swing of that when we get Wrath of the Lich King. Wrath of the Lich King. God, what's going on, right? I'm fueled by my McDonald's coffee here, but just like, I just
hey man, you got McDonald's coffee. I got myself some Water Joe. Man, this stuff is great. I pretty much, like, I'm on Water Joe because me and a buddy of mine pretty much have a bet of like, I have to stop like drinking soda, so now it's like water and milk and like flavored water. So like I put like water flavoring in here, like Mio. Not sponsored. Not sponsored by Water Joe either. Not sponsored by McDonald's either.
Oh yeah, I mean, it sounds really healthy. I mean, you take water and you dump a bunch of caffeine in it. It sounds like really healthy.
Hey man, there's like caffeine is there. I mean, like, it's to keep me awake. But it's better than all the sugar and stuff that I've been drinking in soda. So I've been doing that. But like one of the reasons why pretty much he has to go ahead and stop smoking, and we have to do a whole like 40-day, 40-night.
It's a health kick thing, yeah. And it's no, I commend you guys for doing that. I really should I should be involved in that too. I mean, I definitely I have bad habits to kick, so I should be involved in that next time you guys have your next run or whatever you do of it.
I mean, Spectre, you can always join. You can get in on this if you want. We can figure that out.
You figure out the rules of it. I'll figure out a habit.
Okay, all right, okay. But like the reason, so we, mind you, screw this weather, dude. Screw this weather into eternity, dude. Because like we had the. What was it? Like we had all the different showcases happening over like last week or the week before. And like we've been having like at least with where we live in Wisconsin, and with we are having the hottest summer. I think it's everywhere, but like here it's like 100 degrees in Wisconsin.
I know in Europe it's really, really hot.
Oh my God, it's crazy. And like we had a terrible storm. Like a terrible storm before all of this heat came in. So much so that it killed your power, didn't it, Spectre?
It didn't kill my power. It killed my internet. Even worse.
Oh wow. Okay, I thought it was
power if you don't have. I mean, I guess if you had to lose one, I mean, you're better off losing the internet because you can use your hotspot. But even on top of it, the weirdest thing with my hotspot was actually acting up as well too. So I didn't have internet access. My hotspot was all screwed up. So I was like in the dark ages. We went back to watching Blu-rays and having conversations. It was really scary.
That doesn't sound too bad. But it still sucks.
It was horrible, but thank God we're back online now.
Like, so we tried to go, like, because of that, it threw everything. Like, that's why we're here. And mind you, we were able to kind of like spend some time with the showcases, and kind of gather our thoughts even more.
I do think it's actually good to kind of process a little bit as well too, kind of everything that's happened. And I mean it was a lot of shows. I mean, I know it wasn't really E3, but still it was a lot of shows, back to back like that. So I mean it's you need some time to process it,
Yeah, no, I agree. But what I have been playing, actually, so I think it was like last week. So when like not E3 finished or when it was finishing, PlayStation, the PlayStation Plus that we have discussed about, the new like setup of that, which we talked about that on one of our past episodes of Dualshock'd. This is Spartacus. We talked about that, and I upgraded to PlayStation Plus Premium. And I've been testing it out. I've been playing some PS1 games. I played Toy Story 2, which is there, and some Ape Escape, which love Ape Escape. God, man, that game is so good. So I've been playing that, and pretty much like with this new premium, I played that, and that I haven't played the PS3 games yet. I haven't played that, and I think that's the real test, because the cool thing is like you can download PS1, PS2, and PSP and PS4. Now, mind you, your PSP games are really small. I think there's like maybe only two of them, maybe three. I can't remember, because like your classics catalog is all like everything. It's from going all the way back from 3 backwards. So 1, 2, PSP, and 3. It's a decent starting lineup because you have like the Jack and Daxter games, you have Siphon Filter, you have Toy Story 2, you have that, and then you have like from PS3, you have like God of War and Infamous and a few others. Of course, you have the PS4 library, which is still there. You get the game trials and stuff, but I've been pretty much looking at the catalog, and it's been pretty good. It's not bad. I was. You
can justify it. It's not 100% buyer's remorse just yet.
Not yet. I mean, I will say though, I'm still not like. So for me, I had like maybe 11 months of plus left. Like 11 months, like I had a long time, maybe like 10 months of plus left. And when you upgrade, it prorates you to whatever. So for me, I spent less than $40 to upgrade to the top tier, which is premium. And I'm like, oh, for $40, oh, that's not bad. I was going to upgrade to premium like when this first hit anyway.
So how long do you have before you're paying the full price again?
I have until the end of January of next year.
Okay, so you have like a full year after that, or so January 2023, you're paying full price again?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's not too long. It's only like 6 months now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like, because how they prorate. Remember when we talked about this is like the prorate and how it like equates. It's really weird, dude. Like it's really weird.
They really didn't let you stack up your time all that much.
Yeah. Oh, that's why they shut that. Why people were getting codes for like Now and Plus at the same time. I didn't have PlayStation Now, so I didn't get to go from normal to premium. I didn't have that. I had to be like, all right, pay the upgrade and then how it prorates and the time frame or whatever. It's January 30th of next year. So I don't know. We will see. I'm like, again, I was going to do this. I will see, like, is it worth the 120? But we will see. I'm really hoping, like PlayStation said, that they're going to be putting more games every month. And we shall see how that goes, and what games they are, because that's kind of the selling point of Plus Premium is the what's in the catalog. So we shall see. We shall see what's in all of that and how that goes. But like playing it, being in the competitor to Xbox Game Pass, it is not bad. But that price point,
I'm happy you're enjoying it so far and you've seen some value in it. I just for me, it's just so, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And maybe we'll have a long discussion about subscription services and that kind of stuff. We've talked about it a lot, and we've talked
about it a lot. I just, I don't necessarily think they're a universal evil or anything like that. Obviously, I've done a lot of World of Warcraft and other MMOs in my day, so I'm not like just completely anti-subscription services in all instances, but I just feel like the offering that you get for what they're giving you there is just not quite up to it, So.
No, I get you there. But yeah, so in this, as I said, anything else been up to? I've been playing Destiny of course, because that's like my turn my brain off game,
that's
which
your go-to always, yeah. But nothing else that you dabbled into, no other.
As I said, I've been playing a lot of the games on the catalog from PlayStation Plus.
But you've kind of just been kind of cruising through them. So
yeah. So I play. Well, yeah. So I played I love Toy Story 2. I bought that game on the PS3 when you could just buy it from the PS1. I bought that on my PS3. And the cool thing is, if you bought games for PS1 or PS2 or whatever, in the past, you get them. So it transfers over.
That's nice. Okay.
And the cool thing is, if you want to buy the game, so let's say you lose Plus, you don't want to pay the 120 to have access to the catalog. You just want to buy each game separately. They're $10, which is not bad.
Yeah, so that's not horrible, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, so that's kind of what I've been playing Ape Escape and Toy Story 2 and Jack and Daxter and kind of seeing how it all goes and stuff. It's been really good. I know The Quarry just came out and a lot of people are enjoying The Quarry, which is made by Supermassive, the guys behind Until Dawn and the Dark Story anthology with Little Hope, Man of Medan, and House of Ashes, which are all great games. We got a bunch of
I saw some people playing that. It seems like it's pretty popular. I never was really into Until Dawn, really, but
oh, dude, if you look, I am not the horror game guy. I'm looking at as I said on our.
I just don't think it's my style. I mean, I don't like it kind of gave me like a, how can I say this, like a Friday the 13th vibe. Like I'm not really, I'm not really into that. Like I like more, like my horror is more of like supernatural.
Well, it's like really, Callisto Protocol.
Yeah, something like that. That's more up my alley.
No, I get you there. But yeah, no, I mean, like, so I've been playing a lot of that. I haven't played The Quarry yet, but I do plan on playing it. I'll probably maybe even stream it. We'll see what happens.
We really got to get to streaming. Yeah, we keep teasing that, but we just never get around to it. Me too. I'm guilty of that too. Mm-hmm. But hey, at least I finally did my unboxing video, so I slowly am catching up to things I promised a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. I get you there. Yeah, so as Spectre said, we're going to be there. He did some unboxings, and those will be put up onto the channel very soon. So look forward to that. But I think we talked enough about ourselves. Let's go ahead and get into our main topic.
We're going to be about myself all day.
I know you could, Spectre, but we're going to spend this entire episode talking about all of the showcases and conferences that were shown off within the past 2 weeks. We're not going to be talking about news. All the news is going to be from the showcases. So with that being said, let's get into our main topic. You ready, Spectre?
I am ready.
This is our PlayStation conversation.
PlayStation.
Okay, Spectre. So we're going to go ahead and begin. We spent an entire episode of Dualshock'd of our podcast talking about our last episode 68, best state of play ever. We talked about state of play, which was a few weeks ago. This was kind of like what kind of started not E3. Mind you, it was like the week before it, but like I'm gonna start there.
Part of the whole overall festivities.
Yeah. Like this was kind of the starting of it. This is what got announced. We're not going to spend a lot of time with this. We're just going to go over the highlights and stuff. If you want to see our like full reactions, go and watch our episode of Dualshock'd again. It's episode 68, best state of play ever, and we go really in depth and we talk about our feelings and what we thought of what this state of play is and what should be done going into the future of state of play and we're just going to go ahead and hit the highlights of this just because it's just all the announcements. So of course at state of play we got an announcement of Resident Evil 4 remake, which is coming to PS5. It's also going to get a VR mode. We got Street Fighter 6 announcement, like the whole game, we're going to be getting that, which I'm very excited for. We got, at the end of the show, we got like pretty much gameplay and a story trailer of Final Fantasy 16, which looks really cool, and it's going to be coming out summer of next year, 2023. Resident Evil Village is going to be getting a VR mode, which is for the VR2. So this is going to be for the new VR that's going to be coming out, and we've even talked about it on our own show here, so go check that out. And then we got also like a very heavily extended like gameplay look of Horizon Call the Mountain. Like we got like gameplay, like a story / gameplay trailer of that for the VR2. That's, I believe, going to be a launch title, or it should be. But it's going to be only for the PSVR 2. We got Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 Retribution coming to a VR2. No Man's Sky is going to get a PSVR 2 mode. They showed off Stray, which was like a AA / indie game about like a cat and like this cyberpunk looking world. They showed off Marvel Spider-Man is coming to PC. They showed off this game called Roller Dome. And then they announced the Callisto Protocol, which I know, Spectre, you're looking forward to that game.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The spiritual successor, essentially, to Dead Space, with the original developers creating that.
Mm-hmm. And then we got an indie game of Season, A Letter to the Future. Tunic, which is it used to be only on Xbox. Now it's coming to PlayStation. It's pretty much you play as this like little fox, and it has this very like Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening feeling to it, and then Eternights, which is this, you know, JRPG, but it's like hack and slash, that kind of stuff. Again, that state of play was amazing. I will say this again. That state of play.
Yeah, and I'll say it for the record. I mean, I never thought I would say that. I mean, it was. I mean, I thought I was always being such a broken record with these things. I mean, they were always terrible. They had this reputation, and a lot of people just usually saw them as like these just filler like presentations that really didn't have anything like worthwhile ever to them. And then we got this really very, very good show. And to you know, foreshadow a little bit, probably in something you could argue, I think make a convincing argument, was really the best event of the entire festivities, really. So I mean, yeah, I was it just was a really weird, it's like we're in Bizarro world. It was just really, I mean, this whole like E3 kind of time here, I mean, it's the state of play kind of really steals the show. It's kind of just, it's just really weird for me to say that, but it's really is true.
No, I like, and again, we're going to go more and talk about the showcase, and then we're going to kind of say what we thought. But like, for me personally, this was a like 4 out of 5 showcase. Like, my grade is like a 4 out of 5 for this, like an A, if we will, like whatever. I like to use numbers, so I'm going to give that state of play a 4 out of 5.
I would say that's probably not too far off the mark. It was really, really good.
I'd like, again, best, like, I agree, just like what Spectre said,
especially for, you know, it's especially, you know, I think in some ways it gets like a boost because I wasn't expecting it to be good. So when you have something that's good and you're expecting it to be good, it's one thing. But if you have something that you were expecting to be terrible, and then it turns out to be really, really good, I don't know. It has like it sort of magnifies it in a way, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, like, again, I was not expecting that. I was not expecting this state of play to be so good. Like, again, for the very first state of play, and they created this when the pandemic happened. And because, like, well, we can't do it in person, well, we'll kind of take a page out of Nintendo's book. We'll do a Nintendo Direct, but they called it State of Play. And the first one was not bad. Like, it wasn't terrible. There were some games, but there was nothing that, like, blew me away. There was no, like, oh my God, they can't announce this! The only good state of plays, I would say, have been the deep dives. The Horizon, Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us Part 2, Hogwarts Legacy, even the Gran Turismo one was fine. If you like, again, it's very much, if you like Gran Turismo, you like Gran Turismo, But like these deep dives of they're going to spend the state of play just to talk about this one game, and they're going to show off gameplay, and they're going to show off like gameplay mechanics and other stuff that, like, I love those. But these like overall state of plays have been going from okay to bad. This state of play was amazing. So yeah, I think we've talked enough about that state of play.
Yeah, we kind of gushed over it already for our episode.
Yeah, we did. So again, go check out our episode. It's the last episode 68, best state of play ever. Go check that out. We go very in depth about that. So after that, so that was like a few weeks ago. The next big thing we got was the Summer Game Fest. And Summer Game Fest, like, last year was actually really good. There were some like 3 really good announcements that like came out of that. That was like during E3 time, and like we got all of these different ones. You know, that was when they announced Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is a fun game. I've played Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. That is a very fun game. But like the show stealer from last year was that at the end of Summer Game Fest, they announced Elden Ring. And we knew about Elden Ring, and we knew about that, like, is coming. And then they were like, here's Elden Ring. Here is the date. This is what we're doing. Like, get ready for this. And like, everyone lost their minds last year. They announced Elden Ring last year. So last year's Summer Game Fest was great. It kind of had dips and dives. Like you had your top high points and you had your low points, but it felt steady. You know, it went up and then steady. It didn't feel like it kind of went under. It kind of just went like, you know, it went steady and then up and then down and then up and then down. It didn't like dive down, if that makes any sense. Spectre over here is like, I have no idea. But this year's Summer Game Fest, so I'll go through what was announced and then we can kind of spend more time with this. So with Summer Game Fest 2022, this is a little bit out of order, so bear with me, but we kind of got this like, so we got like, American Arcadia, which was this like side-scrolling game. It's kind of like oh crap, Spectre, what is that Jim Carrey movie where they record his life 24/7 and the Jim Carrey
Show.
Thank you, Truman Show. Yes, it felt very much Truman Show. Like your character, like because the whole gimmick is like you live in this utopia and you know the outside world can see what's happening, like this is the new age of reality TV, and all of a sudden the main character you play is like aware of what's happening, and then the people who are recording the show is like, oh, we need to stop him, and then you're trying to escape, and it was fine. Like the anime, it's very like polygony. I don't know what it was, but like American Arcadia was like, oh, okay. We got some like Warhammer stuff, or we got some like new Warframe stuff coming. You know, the new expansion for Warframe is coming. Metal Hellsinger, I'm looking forward to that. Because I'm a big metalhead.
Did you play the, speaking of that game, did you play the demo?
I need to play the demo. I haven't taken the time.
I played the demo. Played the demo.
Is it good?
Really, really good so far. Ooh. I actually really enjoyed it. Okay. I really enjoyed it. It definitely takes some getting used to. It's a rhythm game, but it's also an FPS game / like melee first person game. So okay. You're heavily rewarded. The whole gimmick of the game is you have to do things in beat to the music, and it has this really awesome like kind of death metal soundtrack in the background, and it sort of rewards you kind of like almost like Devil May Cry style, where you really, the more you get into it, the more stylish you are with it. You do more damage, the more like I said, you really get into it with the soundtrack. But this game especially just really like it has like actually like a almost like a rhythm meter thing, like in the middle of the screen. Like if you actually time your attacks to the beat of the music, essentially, you actually do significantly more damage. You pretty much have to use that mechanic, to succeed in the game. So it was. I played the demo. It was a lot of fun so far. Just a joy to play. It reminds me, it actually in a lot of ways very similar to like Doom Eternal, because I mean Doom Eternal, of course, and Doom doesn't really have that mechanic of like a beat, like a rhythm matching mechanic to it, but it kind of does in a way, because you have that metal soundtrack in the background. You sort of get into it more and kind of in beat with the music, and this game just kind of takes that literally, and you have to really be in sync with the music. But I really enjoyed it. I'll probably be picking that up.
Yeah,
when it comes out.
Yeah, no, me too. Like when they announced this, I can't remember if they announced
the demo. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I'm going to. Yeah. Don't worry. Like that has been on my to-do list. Don't worry, that has been on my to-do list. Because I think they announced it either at last year's Summer Game Fest or at the Game Awards. But my God, I was like, oh my God, this is a game built for Brett. Like, this is awesome. Like, I love metal. That is one of my favorite genres of music. And then it's like, oh, you can shoot and kill demons and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah. So yeah, like with heavy metal, oh my God, it's my favorite jam. So no, I'm like, that was one I was like, oh yeah. We got a story or a look at like gameplay from like Nightingale, which was like this like survival game from Aaron Flynn and Inflection. It was kind of like this open world, like woodsy kind of thing. I'm not entirely sure what it was. The Genshin Impact developer, they did a showcase for Hoyoverse and Honkai Star Rail and the showcase. I'm sorry, the two games from the Hoyoverse is Honkai Star Rail and Zenless Zone Zero. Woo. I don't play Genshin Impact. It's not my. It's not my.
It's not my jam either. I got nothing against it really. I tried it out a little bit, but just it's not my jam.
I understand why people like it, but it's not. It's not the live service game for me. It's not for me. They showed off. We got a trailer from One Piece Odyssey, which is like the next One Piece game. Looks cool. Meh. I know, like I have it's One Piece. If you like, it's one of those like if you like One Piece, you're gonna get down with this. If it's one of those like kind of things. We got High Water, which is like an upcoming action adventure game that aims to let players explore a world ravaged by the effects of climate change. This was like an indie game. There are some like. I'm going to keep going. We got a trailer for Warhammer 40k Darktide, we got an extended gameplay. That one looks really cool.
It is really. I mean, it's essentially a sort of a sequel to Vermintide. It's the next game in the series. It's a kind of cooperative shooter. Mm-hmm. I'm still waiting for the game. I'm kind of the resident Warhammer fan for the channel here. I'm still waiting for a game where we can actually play as a. I mean, there are games where you can play as Chaos, of course, but I'd like to have a shooter like this where you can play as Chaos and you're fighting the Imperium and stuff like that. That just would be really, really cool. I'm a Chaos player. I'm Chaos Space Marines, of course. That's my. Mm-hmm. That's my faction, but this looks really, really good. I wasn't like super into Vermintide, but I'm more of a. In general, I gravitate more towards 40k as opposed to fantasy. I got nothing against fantasy, Age of Sigmar, but I just tend to gravitate more towards 40k. I like the sci-fi. That's just more my realm. So yeah, this game and. I'm looking forward to this one. Not as much as I'm looking forward to Space Marine 2, but I am looking forward to this one. I'll be checking it out. I don't know if it's gonna be a day one for me, but Space Marine will definitely be a day one. But I probably will be checking this out.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, it's
I never really got into Warhammer.
No, not really. Like no, yeah, not really. No, I mean,
I don't know if it would be really just because it's. I don't know. You're not into like the how can I say, kind of like serious, dark kind of storylines.
No, dude, I love. I mean, no, dude, like I play Last of Us Part 2, and tons of terrible things happen in that game. Like I am okay with playing games. Like Doom Eternal is like, mind you, it's very much aware that it's built on big, dumb, stupid, killed demons. But I am okay with like, the series, like it's not happy or whatever, like it's very serious and this like that kind of stuff. It's just like I don't know. I think I just kind of haven't like tested it out. I know that my friends wanted to get into like Warhammer, like the like tabletop miniature game. Oh
God, that is such a oh my God, that's such a
that's a money pit.
A money pit, really.
That's a money pit.
I tried to get into it. I mean, it's a very fun game. I got nothing against it at all. I just wish they would have a more casual version of it for people that don't have thousands of dollars and thousands of hours to invest into it. But it's just that's going to be a perfect game for me. I'll get back into that when I retire. That's when I'll get back into tabletop Warhammer.
There you go.
That's what will happen because then I'll actually have time to play it.
There you go. But yeah, so. It did look cool. I'm like, I saw that trailer. I was like, "Ooh, this looks rad!" But like, it didn't make me go, "Oh, I need to buy this game." Now, then we got a trailer for Goat Simulator, which it opened in the vein of Dead Island 2, so it was a parody of it. So it opened with like it was the old Dead Island 2 trailer from way back, like feels like 10 years ago. But like it starts with like it's like in California and it's on the boardwalk, and this guy who's going to start running, he puts on his headphones and he laces up his shoes and he starts running. All of a sudden you see chaos behind him. In the original Dead Island 2 trailer, you saw a bunch of zombies starting to attack everyone behind him. But in this was a parody of that, but it was goats, and goats were like beating, destroying stuff and whatever. So it was a parody of that. No gameplay, was just a trailer, and that was it. So at first I was like, wait a minute, are you actually gonna finally do this? And then I'm like, nope, it's Goat Simulator. Never mind. Blah. So there's that. Then we got, and again, this is not in the actual order of the show, so when I say then, it's just what I have in my list. So we got this RTS game called Stormgate, which is made by ex-Blizzard guys. So they don't work for Blizzard now. They used to work for Blizzard, so they used to work on StarCraft and Warcraft 3 and that kind of stuff. And now they're making an RTS called Stormgate, which they showed a cinematic trailer, which did look pretty cool. I don't know anything.
Yeah, I am actually looking forward to that. I mean, it's... I think, I don't want to open that can of worms, but I mean, Blizzard, in a lot of ways, is kind of, it's a very different company than it was before, and it's nice to see, these, developers that have this, this experience kind of come back and sort of do sort of a passion project, and sort of, wipe the slate clean and do something a little bit new. But also familiar, of course, too. It's not completely out of their, it's in their skill set essentially. I think it's a lot of StarCraft 2 veterans, and it has like the like a Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne like campaign director, things like that. So I mean, it's I am looking forward to this one.
Yeah, it did look really cool because I think it was at the Xbox Showcase. Although we're gonna go through everything, but I believe it was shown off again later. So yeah, it looked pretty cool though. Like I didn't know what this was until like later. But I do enjoy my RTSs. I very much do enjoy it. Like I love Warcraft 3. Even Halo Wars on the Xbox. I love playing that game. Yeah, I like my RTSs. So we got this game called Routine, which is pretty much it's a horror game with like robots and stuff. Apparently it's been in the works for like a decade, and pretty much the feeling of it is like a mix between like Alien Isolation and the Terminator. So I don't know. It was like
it's intriguing. I have it on my I think I wishlisted that one.
Yeah. Fort Solace, which is this like AA game. It's a passion project that Troy Baker and Roger Clark are the two main voice actors that are in this game. Troy Baker plays the character Joel Miller in it, and then Roger Clark, who was from Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm sorry. He played Troy Baker, who played Joel from Last of Us Part 2, and then Roger Clark, who played Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2, voiced the two main characters in Fort Solace. Cool. I need to have more information on this, but I love both of these voice actors, especially Troy Baker. So I want to know more about this game just to kind of be like, oh, do I want to buy this game? Do I want to play it? But the trailer looks cool, but it didn't make me go, oh my God, I need to get this game, Yeah,
no, I know what you mean. You kind of want to wait and see.
So now we got a Witchfire, which is this game looks really cool. Witchfire, which it's pretty much an FPS, but it's in medieval times. It was announced back in like the Game Awards of 2017. But we haven't seen it until now, but it's going to be in early access. It looks cool, but watching that trailer, it very much felt like pre-beta watching that. Do you remember watching that?
I'm trying to remember this one. Yeah,
it's like the gun. You like pretty much you're like you're a gunslinger, but you can use magic. So think like.
Oh, okay, I remember this one now. Okay.
It looked cool, but like watching it felt very much like, oh, it's in beta. Like this doesn't feel like there's still a long way to go for this game. We got this game. Flashback 2 is a long-awaited sequel to the 1992 sci-fi platformer. I don't know if you remember Flashback or whatever.
Yeah, I never played it. It's an ancient game now, but yeah, no, I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And again, I'm getting all this, like the list this is from IGN, just to go through the list of all this. Humankind is coming to consoles and is getting new DLC. So Humankind is coming to PS5, PS4 series, the Xbox Series, and Xbox One on November 4th. And then it's going to be getting DLC called Cultures of Latin America. Woo. There was this card-based shooter called Neon White. It's coming out in...
That one looked kind of interesting, actually.
It's already out.
It's out already.
Yep, it's already out right now. We saw a little bit of gameplay of the Cuphead Delicious Last Course. That was great.
Yeah, we've been waiting for that one forever. Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, I can't wait to play that. You get to play as Miss Chalice. Oh, God, I love Cuphead. We got a trailer for like the new demo of the Saints Row Boss Factory, which you can download right now. Pretty much it's a demo, but pretty much you pretty much are going to create the boss, which is the boss of the Saints. And I think you can port the boss that you create from the demo into the main game. I hope.
Oh, for the Saints Row reboot or whatever. Oh yeah, I couldn't care less about that game. I liked Saints Row 4 and I like the old series, but this reboot, I really don't like the direction they're going in at all. Yeah. I think I speak for most people. It doesn't look appealing.
Yeah, like I love Saints Row. I played Saints Row 3. That was the first Saints Row I played. I love that game to death. I love Saints Row 3. Saints Row 4, I actually absolutely adored. You just have to go into being like, this is a superhero game. This is not your normal like GTA parody game. This is a superhero game that's making fun of itself. And that's what I loved about Saints Row, is that it very much was self-aware of what it was. And now with I even played Gat Out of Hell, which was like that expansion DLC. From Saints Row and whatever, where you play as Johnny Gat. And I am very cautious about this upcoming Saints Row game. I don't know how I feel about this game.
And if you're being cautious, that means everyone out there should be doubly cautious.
Because I like everything.
That's when you know a game's in trouble. They should really just have you as the focus tester, and if you're like, because you just be hitting yes, I like everything, and then the one time you're like, oh, I don't know about that, they'd be like, oh God, okay, we're really in trouble now. Okay.
Hey man, it's my optimism. That's why I'm always optimistic about stuff being good and stuff. I got something.
You can have me there too. I would just be saying I hate everything, and then when you see me click yes on something, then it's like, okay, wow, we got like a masterpiece on our hands.
Hey man, but mind you hate Last of Us, and Last of Us is Last of Us 1 is a masterpiece, and Last of Us 2 is very good. Shut up. But anyway, I had something in my eye that I hate it when that happens. Anyway.
Oh, something in your eye or something.
Yeah, I was like, while we were yeah. But anyway. Then we got a trailer for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, which is already out. You can buy it. It came out.
Been playing it. Like it a lot so far.
Good. And you get to play as Casey Jones, which is great. And there's a 6-player mode.
After you beat the game, yeah.
Oh, it's after you beat the game? God dang it.
Yep.
Okay.
Unless there's some other way around it I'm not aware of, but yeah, it's not available right away.
Okay. Then they showed off gameplay of Gotham Knights Nightwing. I'm looking forward to that game. I know a lot of people are very iffy.
Yeah, no.
Well, you don't like superhero games, so that I don't know if you're the best
Yeah, I'm definitely not the target audience for that.
Then we got a trailer for Marvel's Midnight Suns, which they revealed Spider-Man is going to be in it, and a release date. which will be October 7th of this year, and it plays like XCOM, has a very much XCOM style to it, and it's also very it's a card-based XCOM style of stuff. It looks really cool, and there's I saw some IGN kind of had they had some gameplay preview of it, and I watched it, and it is interesting because there's a lot of time where you get to sit, you can be in the hub, and you can actually create relationships with different heroes. And by creating relationships, because there is a character that is your own hero called the Hunter, and apparently you are a descendant of Lilith, who is the demon that is kind of taking over specific who's corrupting specific heroes. She corrupted the Hulk and Venom and and you can create relationships with other heroes, and by doing that you get stat boosts and other things like that. So that was really cool, but I'm still I'm very cautious about this because I'm worried that this is also being published by 2K. So I am cautious because there could be microtransactions in it, that you can get the big enhanced edition, the complete edition of it, which has a season pass and 24 skins and other things. And I'm worried that there's going to be you can buy credits and you can use that to buy skins and buy blah 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 blah. And I'm oh my lord,
pay to win type of thing.
Yeah, and I'm worried about that because it's it's a card based system. So I am worried about that. But it does look cool. That's that's where my caution is. We got Layers of Fears coming, and is being made in Unreal Engine 3. It's made by Bloober Team. So remember when we talked about this on one of our past episodes, where
Unreal Engine 5 probably, right?
Yes. Remember how you were worried, we talked about Bloober Team is working on a very famous horror franchise. Bloober Team is the guys who did The Medium, and there was a rumor going, there was talks going around, there was a report going around saying that they were working on a very famous horror franchise, and people were going, oh, is it Silent Hill? And you were please, dear God, let it not be Silent Hill.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
We find out that now it's Layers of Fear, or Layers of Fears.
Which is that really a famous horror franchise?
Well, it's not as big as Resident Evil or Silent Hill, but there have been other horror, Layers of Fear in the past. At least am I wrong?
Yeah, no, it's, to call it a famous franchise, though, I think is a bit of a reach, but
that's what it said. But now we know the game that they are working on is this. So yeah, we got gameplay demo of Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty, the next Call of Duty that's coming out, which is the sequel to Modern Warfare, which is the fifth one in the Modern Warfare series, because there's Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, and then Modern Warfare 2, and then Modern Warfare 3, and then Ghosts, and then now we're here. So now technically, shouldn't it be? It's a whole confusing thing. It's on the new, on Unreal Engine 5, and it's using the new engine that they created. I think it was Modern Warfare that started, the first Modern Warfare where they changed it, because you had Modern Warfare and then Cold War and then Vanguard, which was terrible, and now this. So they're okay, so if we gotta do Modern Warfare, because Activision said that the reason why Vanguard failed was not because they vomited that game out in less than 6 months and put no time and effort into it and did nothing with it. They blame World War II, the time period, for why people don't like Vanguard. No, the reason why people don't like Vanguard is because you made a crappy game. Because
you blamed World War II for it?
Yes. They blamed the time period, World War II.
Oh, I thought they were just blaming the fans for
no,
your goofy revisionist history nonsense they were doing.
Don't worry, I watch WWE. WWE does the exact same thing. Whoops, I'm sorry. I'm talking about wrestling. me and my bias. But regardless, Yeah, so again, it's Modern Warfare 2 using the new engine, still using the characters from the old Modern Warfare games coming into this. It did look cool. But again, you buy Call of Duty because you know what you're getting into. Big set pieces for the campaign, and then multiplayer Twitch shooter stuff for that. Blah. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I think they should really stay away from the historical stuff because they're not really good at it. You know, I mean, it's just they can't help themselves.
Well, the like it's stupid. Like people like World War II. You made tons of games. It probably could also be from just fatigue.
I think that a lot of those good World War II games were made in a different time.
Exactly,
you know,
but
I think just stick with the Modern Warfare stuff. Make your own goofy little story here. You know.
Well, I think the reason why Modern Warfare works is because it's current day. Like the weapons are fast, so you can get a lot of kills in a very short amount of time. But it's not in the future where, oh my god, if you do wall running, oh no, it's not boots on the ground and everyone hates it. And I'm like, dude, what? Like, come on. Advanced Warfare was good. Advanced Warfare's campaign was awesome. And like,
I like Modern Warfare. I think it's a good middle ground, because I think if you go back to, just from a gameplay perspective alone, because if you go back to, like you said, the World War II stuff, the weapons are kind of antiquated. So you don't have all the same stuff that the cool toys we have nowadays. But if you go to the far future, then you have really goofy stuff with like grapple hooks and wall running and jetpacks, and it just becomes like just too.
That's
goofy.
my favorite jam. That's my jam. But again, I want to play fantasy. That's why I play video games. But I'm one person. But I get it. Excuse me. God dang it. But yeah, it's like having modern guns. It's boots on the ground. You're not like wall running and doing crazy futuristic stuff, but you can do crazy shenanigans still and have it be believable with that. And then we got a like extended gameplay trailer. So we got like at State of Play, we got like, hey, here's the announcement. You guys like the guys who made Dead Space? Here's like the rated M, bloody, gory trailer that's terrifying and holy crap at Summer Game Fest. So we got like this extended, like we got a whole different trailer, or like an extended trailer, and then gameplay shown of it Callisto Protocol. And I'm going to let you ooze over this game, Spectre. So go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean this is the Dead Space continuation that we never really got. So because of course we had Dead Space 1, good game, very good game. Dead Space 2, even better, very good game, improved on everything that 1 did, and then we had 3, which was an aggressive, shall we say, attempt to monetize the series and take it into this co-op shooter direction. It just did not work at all. It was pretty bad. A lot of kind of pay to win monetization,
and it was an action game.
Yeah, and not to mention the lest we forget it was an action game, but lest we forget even the end of the story itself was DLC as well too. So you had to pay just to see the end of the story. It was bad. It was very poorly received. After that, EA basically canceled the franchise and eventually basically just got rid of Visceral altogether.
Yep.
And that we thought that was the end of it, but now we're in the midst of sort of a mini horror game like renaissance.
Yeah.
Because we have Callisto Protocol coming, which like I said, looks fantastic. It's basically a spiritual successor to Dead Space, a continuation of Dead Space by a lot of the original developers of it. And then on top of that, of course, we have other things in the background, like the Dead Space remake itself, and then another game we're going to be mentioning a couple times here between the Xbox show and the PC game show, Scorn as well too. We mentioned a couple other horror games as well too. So I mean, it's sort of a mini horror renaissance that's going on, which is that's a delight for me because I love horror games. I know they're definitely not your cup of tea at all. No. But I'm Callisto Protocol is everything that I would want it to be. It looks very Dead Space, which is what we want.
I'm again with my with the games like the horror, like I'm selective. Like there are some, like I like suspense. Like I love Until Dawn. That is a horror game, but it's more of a suspense game, but it's very story driven. I love like Supermassive. Like Supermassive are the guys. Like I love the dark story anthology, like, you know, Man of Medan, Little Hope, House of Ashes, that kind of stuff. Even The Quarry, I have to sit down and play it, but that game looks great, and I was excited for that game when they announced it. You know, but like Resident Evil, not my, like, again, Resident Evil, Silent Hill. Like I saw this. I was terrified watching this. I was like in my chair, my hands over almost like close to my face. I'm like, ah, God. They like at the end of the gameplay or the trailer, like your character just gets eaten up by this turbine. You're just seeing his his arm gets stuck, and then it just eats him up slowly. Like it's going really fast, but he's getting like his arm gets destroyed, and then his whole body just gets sucked in. Like, no, but I know. I was like, but it looks good. Like, just because it's not my cup of tea doesn't mean that I can't go, this looks good. It does look good. And I know that the guys who, like the Dead Space guys, are like, we're going to make our game. This is going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to this. We got Aliens Dark Descent, which is another Aliens game coming out. Guile's coming to Street Fighter 6. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, I'm looking forward to Guile. Again, I'm excited for Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, I'm not a Street Fighter guy. So
no, I get you.
That's all you, man.
Well, again, like, mind you, my favorite fighting games, like if they showed Mortal Kombat or Injustice 3, oh, I would have lost my whole mind. Like if they were like, here's Injustice 3, I would have lost it. I wouldn't be able to handle myself. Because I love Injustice and I like Soul Calibur. Injustice and Soul Calibur are like my favorite fighting games, and Mortal Kombat, but definitely Injustice and Soul Calibur. But I'm very excited for Street Fighter 6. So now that Spectre has oozed about what he's looking forward to, which is Callisto Protocol, the last part of Summer Game Fest, this probably took up like about 10 minutes, maybe a little bit more. You had Neil Druckmann, the head of Naughty Dog, and head of creative also at Naughty Dog. He came out and kind of had a bunch of announcements. This was like the Last of Us part of it. So what we got is that he announced that the Last of Us multiplayer. So when Last of Us 1 came out back in 2013, they had this multiplayer part, which is the faction warfare, factions and stuff like that. And it was like the multiplayer part of Last of Us, and it's actually very good. There was a lot of thought put into the multiplayer aspect of Last of Us 1 back on the PS3, because Naughty Dog was kind of going like, all right, we want to do multiplayer. Uncharted 2 had multiplayer. Uncharted 3 had multiplayer, which is phenomenal. I love the Uncharted multiplayer. Uncharted 4 even had multiplayer, which is great. And then they had Last of Us 1 back in 2013, had the faction multiplayer, which is good. Like, it's very fun. But then when they remastered Last of Us Remastered to the PS4, it's just the story. So it's just a single player campaign and Left Behind. I don't believe the multiplayer is a part of that. So you have that. Then when Last of Us Part 2 came out in 2020, again, very controversial game. People love it like I do. People despise it like other people. And again, it's one of those games that I highly recommend anyone play that, regardless of what my opinion is or what other people say. Love it or hate it, it is a game that I recommend everyone to play to make your own decision on what happens narratively. I still think the gameplay is great and stuff, but anyway, there was no multiplayer connected to Last of Us Part 2. And fans who were waiting for like the faction warfare from Last of Us 1, they're like, why is there no multiplayer? And there were reports saying that they're working on it. Well, now he comes out and says Last of Us multiplayer, and it's going to have a story. So it's like, here is a game. You're going to buy this for the multiplayer. This is separate from Last of Us Part 2, but there's a whole new story connected to it, and it's going to be as big as their other Naughty Dog games. So this isn't just like a tacked on DLC, You know, it's just, you know, it's going to feel just as big as playing Uncharted 4 or Last of Us Part 2 or whatever. Where it's going to be, you're going to play with a whole new cast of characters, which great. And it's pretty much going to take place in San Francisco. And it's not going to come out until 2023. Then we got to see more of Last of Us, the HBO show. Pretty much we just got a picture. We pretty much got a picture, and it's from the scene when they're in the museum from Last of Us 1. Actually, I think a part of that scene is actually in our Dualshock'd opening before we begin the show, where the little opening theme that we have, it's from that section of the game. And it shows Pedro Pascal's Joel and Bella Ramsey's Ellie just in the picture. And I'm like, I will say, looking at it, I do see Joel and Ellie there. I'm actually looking forward to watching this show on HBO Max. And then they finally announced, like we talked about in the show, I have been very cautious about this. Like, this is something that I was like, I don't know if I want this or not. So they showed a trailer, and it's the Last of Us remake, and it's called Last of Us Part 1. That's the name. It's not called Last of Us Remake. It's called Last of Us Part 1. So now it is just in line. It's
something we had talked about a lot before, too. It's something that potentially could come out, but.
Exactly. So now this is official. They even announced you can now, this game is $70. It's only on PS5. It's $70 standard. And then there's
no, it's not only on PS5.
Yeah, it's also coming to PC. You're like, hey, it's PC, man.
Always there to correct you.
Shut up. I'm glad you did, because I would have been wrong. But it's Last of Us Part 1, so it's going to match in line with Part 2. And so they showed the trailer and everything, and they even showed side-by-sides of Last of Us Remastered. They didn't even take Last of Us 3 from Last of Us from the PS3. They just took Last of Us Remastered of the PS4, and then they showed the what's going to be in Last of Us Part 1. And I'm actually impressed by this. I was taken away. I'm like, what? Because what I was worried about specifically was they were going to go with a more Final Fantasy VII remake take on this, where they're just going to rejigger the whole game. Like, it's going to be way different and stuff. No, what they're doing is they're pretty much making it graphically on point with Last of Us Part 2. And then they also are going to have the enemy AI similar to Last of Us Part 2. So, like, pretty much the way gameplay works in Last of Us Part 2 is going to be similar to the gameplay loop in Last of Us Remake, which I can get behind. I'm actually looking forward to that. Now, this game is $70 standard. There's a digital deluxe, which I believe is $80, I believe. And then there's the Firefly edition, which is completely sold out. So if you're trying to get that, one's $100, comes with a steelbook and a bunch of other stuff. So I want to, what do you think, Spectre, kind of overall with just all of this? And then I want to talk about the pricing of this game, but like, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what can I say about Last of Us that has already been said? I mean, it feels like I know you're gushing over it as always, but I mean, it just feels like a very marginal upgrade. I mean, I don't know. It just felt like it was too soon for this, especially after the PlayStation 4 re-release. I don't know. It just seems like a cash in, I mean, yeah, I mean, it is coming to PC now, so at least it's coming to a new platform. So that's something, but it just feels like kind of a cash in to me.
So here's the thing. Like, I was worried about it because of, like, are they going to rejigger this game? But graphically, it does look like it. But I do agree with you. I'm still like, this is like it is almost a 10-year-old game. Once we hit next year, it is a 10-year-old game. But like the thing is, like, I do agree with you where do we really need a remake of this right now? Like, we got remakes or slash remasters of games like Crash Bandicoot, which you and I love. You know, Crash 1, 2, and 3. We adore the Insane Trilogy. The Spyro Ignited Trilogy. We love that game. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remaster. That was awesome. You and I both love that game. Shadow of Colossus. Even Demon Souls. Like, Demon Souls is a game from 2009 or 2008, whenever the PS3 first came out, around that time. Even with Demon Souls, because we got Demon Souls PS5, which was a launch game on the PS5. And even that game felt warranted, even though it was like a PS3 game moving to current day. We haven't gotten a new Demon Souls game between the launch of Demon Souls, which was back in like 2008, 2009, to 2020. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it felt more of an upgrade from there, where Last of Us came out in 2013, then we got the upgrade in like 2016, around there, like 2015, 2016. And then we're getting this. And I understand, like, Last of Us is one of those games that you need to play before you die. It's like one of those like classic games where it's like you must play this game. Last of Us 1 is a classic. But I do agree that is it worth playing right now? Now, let's talk about that $70 price point. I want to talk about this for a little bit. What do you think about that? This is as you said, this is a remake.
I think $70 price points in general are kind of ridiculous, especially in the day and age of monetization that we're in right now, where everything is everything is a microtransaction. Every game, nearly every game has a skin to buy or this or that or DLC or whatever. It just games have been carved up and cut up so much at this point. I mean, I understand. I'm not completely unsympathetic to where the developers are coming from. They have to make a buck and money. I get it. I mean, it's otherwise they can't make the games themselves. I mean, but to just jump up to $70 and then still have just as much aggressive monetization. If anything, it's gotten even worse this generation, I would say, in some ways. I mean, I'm like I said, for me, the way I get around it, I mean, and the way I guess you sort of get around it is you do you have your Game Pass and your PlayStation Plus subscription, stuff like that. So you kind of make up for the cost to some degree. For me, what I do is I just tend to put the vast majority of games. I usually don't buy games day one. I put them on a wish list and I get them when they're on sale. I don't feel that. I mean, there's very few games where I can say like I really want to pay $70 for this. I want to play this day one for that price. It's not even really. It's just more so like it's not even like it's. How do I want to say this? It's not even like it's too much money. It's just more so it doesn't feel like I'm going to get that amount of value out of it right away. I can wait. What game can't you wait? Just a little bit for and play something else.
Yeah, because like the thing is, like, it's $70, and look, I'm going to get this game. I was lucky enough to be able to get the Firefly edition. Mind you, it's sold out because screw you, scalpers. Because scalpers are selling it like 4 times the thing. Mind you, it is not selling well. I think only one. If you go to eBay, there's only been like one sold, but like it's still stupid. It's kind of one of those things with like collector's editions. You have to be on. If you're not there ready to buy when it comes available at the store for specific games, you lose out and you will have to buy it from the scalpers, which scalpers are terrible people and scum, in my opinion, scum. But again, that's my own opinion. But for this, I do agree. This is for $70. I understand, like, look, PlayStation needs to make money, and we can talk about like $70 price points for like new games and stuff like that. That's a whole other topic. But for this game specifically, $70, in my opinion, isn't really like it's like really you're just getting a graphical upgrade from. It's not going to look like the PS3 game just shinied up, which is what the remaster is. It's very much like all they did is they took the PS3 game, made it shiny. It does look good on the PS4, and it's going to look good on the PS5 because it's backwards compatible. But this one is like, oh, new gameplay. It's using the DualSense and but even for $70, like this should have been $50. If this game was $50, I would have been like, oh yeah, definitely go get it. Go buy this game. It's worth it. This should have been $40 to $50 to get this, but it's a full price $70 game. And I'm like, I disagree with it. But I will say my worries about what they were going to do to this game have been lessened. They're not going to be pulling a Final Fantasy VII remake as in rejiggering the entire thing. It's just graphically gonna pretty much be on point with Last of Us Part 2, and they're gonna be using they're gonna be using new tech to pretty much take what was already recorded in the studio and pretty much like filter it and like do techno magic. Can't think of the word, but like that's the only thing I can think of to put it on point to today. So I'm looking forward to Last of Us Part 1, but it is what it is. So yeah, that was Summer Game Fest. That Summer Game Fest though, watching it, I was like kind of just, it was just okay. I would give it a 3 out of 5. It was fine. Like really the selling points were like the Callisto Protocol gameplay, all the Last of Us stuff, which I was looking forward, which I liked. And like there were a few other things like Guile coming to Street Fighter 6, which was kind of obvious. Like you got Street Fighter 6, you're going to do a new Street Fighter, you got to put Guile in it. It's one of those kind of things where I was like, well, duh, Guile's going to be in it. I wish it was someone else, but the Metal Hellsinger stuff, cool. The Modern Warfare stuff was cool. Like, I mean, we got some announcements, but nothing that made me go, oh my God, like last year. Last year, I couldn't handle it with some of the announcements. I was very just whelmed. I was very just like, meh. This was good. It was
just whelmed, yeah.
Yeah, I was just whelmed. What do you think?
For Summer Game Fest overall?
Yes.
I would say very much in the underwhelmed category. I mean, just nothing really amazing. No real player to blow me away with, really. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's just very just like that. Forgettable. Forgettable, probably the key word. I would say that's probably the key. If I would describe this E3 season in general, probably forgettable will be the word I would use.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about this whole thing overall, but like, so what? A 2 out of 5?
Sure, 1.5 out of.
Jesus. Okay. All right. So that's Summer Game Fest. Let's talk about Xbox. So after that, a little bit later, we got the Xbox Bethesda Showcase, and we opened with Redfall, which was this. So we got two. So we talked about it on our news that Redfall and Starfield got pushed back into next year. A lot of people were upset about it. Some people were upset about it. Some people were not. I personally was not, because I'm like, push the game back. You need to make it good? Go make it good. I have no problem you pushing back games into the following year so that way you can make it good. But so we got Redfall, and I was very whelmed by this. This was kind of what we opened with. This was that vampire game where it's like an FPS kind of thing, and
it looks like the most generic design ever. Mm-hmm. Like it was designed by committee type of thing. Like there's nothing sexy or interesting about it at all, really. You know what I mean? It just has that same dull kind of like Marvel dialogue to it that was just like, I mean, it feels like, I mean, they probably can program an AI to write this stuff at this point. I mean, it really is like, I mean, you can just remove the human elements at this point. It just feels like that. I mean, it just was so like, oh God, there's just nothing interesting about this at all. In the least. You know, I don't see this game going anywhere. I feel like this is going to be another, just another forgettable game. It'll be like the death loop of the year it comes out. You know, the game that nobody remembers.
I mean, I wouldn't say that about Deathloop, but this is definitely. I was very much just okay. I was just very much like, this exists, great, awesome. I was just whelmed by this. We got Hollow Knight Silk Song, which is the next like expansion. It's the next part. It's the sequel to Hollow Knight, which is very good.
I hear good things about that. I've not played that myself, but
it is very good. It is very good. I like. It is. It's a side scrolling. It's like Super Meat Boy with the difficulty, with like the difficulty curve. But it's a hack and slash kind of thing. It's very good. I do recommend it. It is a very good game. But we got the sequel to this. But that's it. We didn't get like a date or anything. It's just, hey, Hollow Knight Silk Song. The sequel exists. Like, it's the sequel. Great. That's it. I have nothing else more. High on Life, which is this like, it's made by the creators of Rick and Morty.
Oh God, yeah, that one looks terrible.
Really
terrible. Speaking of bad comedy, yeah.
Look, depending on, like, again, your opinion on Rick and Morty is, you know, if you like it, awesome. If you don't, awesome. Like, enjoy what you enjoy. But I will say with this trailer, like, it's called High on Life because the whole thing is that the aliens, pretty much they use humans for like sustenance or for power or whatever. That's the whole thing. But it is just to me it was a generic FPS, and the guns speak to you, like the guns actually like do talk and stuff like that, and all that kind of thing. So it is very much like, if you like the comedy style of Rick and Morty, that's what's in it. But there was nothing that made me go, oh, this is different. Oh, I haven't seen this before. Well, like, it is very much your normal FPS, but it has comedy by the creators of Rick and Morty. And like, I was just very much like, again, it was very just like I was just very whelmed by this. Like, it was just, I don't know. I saw it. I was, Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon are the guys, but Justin Roiland is the creator. I was very much just like, okay, great. Woo. Then we got like a compilation of Riot games, so League of Legends, Wild Rift, Valorant, Legends of Britannia, and Teamfight Tactics, which is great, fine, woo.
Those are going to be part of Game Pass now. That's why they were showcasing them, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was the whole point. Plague Tale Requiem, which I've been looking forward to. I love the first Plague Tale. This is the sequel to it. And we got like a long gameplay trailer for it. I am looking forward to that. But again, it's a game I knew about. I know this is coming. I've seen this before. I'm guessing that's it for Spectre. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. For the next Forza Motorsport, so this is the car simulator, not your arcade racer. Of course, because you got to get a Forza. The 40 years of Microsoft Flight Simulator, they were celebrating its 40th anniversary, and hey, because of that, the Pelican from Halo is going to be in it. Which that was probably the hypest moment for me in the entire show. That was the one moment I was like, yeah! Everything else I was like, oh, okay, yay, okay, yeah. That was like the one, because I thought like it was just a Pelican. I'm like, oh, great. And I thought we were going to get more, but then we didn't. And then we got a trailer for Overwatch 2, which is finally coming out. We got gameplay trailer. We got a trailer for the Junker Queen. which is a new character coming to Overwatch 2. Early access begins October 4th of this year of 2022. I just don't care. I don't care. Overwatch 2 has been teased forever, has been in development hell. Activision sucks. Like, the Blizzard of yesteryear is dead. Like, I don't care. I don't care.
That about sums it up.
Right? I mean, Jesus Christ. We got Aura History Untold, which is like turn-based historical strategy game. Yeah, I don't even know what this was. I saw it. I was like, okay. Elder Scrolls Online High Isle. The expansion's coming out June 21st. It's already out. Woo. We got Fallout 76 The Pit, which is the next expansion coming out in September. The Hot Wheels DLC coming to Forza Horizon 5, which is very fun. Again, I love the Hot Wheels expansion for Forza Horizon 4. This one I hope is just as good. Arc 2 got another trailer, which we already knew about. They announced Scorn, which we got a trailer for this, so I'll let you kind of talk about this, Spectre, because I know you're excited for this.
Well, it wasn't announced. I mean, we've known about this game for a while. They showed it off actually last year, I believe, too.
Yeah,
But this is a kind of the H.R. Geiger inspired survival horror game. Very how can I say, kind of like body horror-esque, kind of biomechanical kind of style look to it. There's another artist that they kind of were heavily influenced by. I could never remember his name to save my life, but this looks really, really cool. Just very just like obviously just a very inspired take on things. It's kind of just a cool idea. Just taking these this very awesome imagery, which I mean we in a way this has kind of been time tested before, because we've had like Alien games, and not that this is like an Alien game, but it kind of is in a way as well, because it's like I said, inspired by the same artist. So I mean, it just looks very intriguing to me. I like the skipping ahead. I like the PC game show kind of reveal of this a little bit better. The gameplay showcase of it better, because it of course guest starred Doug Bradley came in of course of Clive Barker and Hellraiser fame. Doug Bradley, so having him kind of narrate the experience definitely adds on to it quite a bit. But I'm really looking forward to this game. I mean, speaking of, I know I just talked about I don't really buy games day one. This is probably going to be one of the few that I'm going to be picking up day one here. The other one being in the near future, Callisto Protocol. I'll be picking up Scorn day one to review that and to try that out. I'm just really looking forward to it. So just watch. I mean, definitely check out the trailer for it if you're at all into like survival horror or Alien or kind of that aesthetic. I mean, it looks really, really cool. I'm hoping it lives up to everything we've seen about it so far. But I mean, we've kind of been burned before with these kind of cool concepts, and it just doesn't materialize anything good. But I'm looking forward to this one quite a bit.
Yeah, no, not me. No.
Yeah, no, it's very much not up your alley.
I will be getting Callisto Protocol before I get this game. Oh my god, I was more terrified at this game than. Oh my god, I'm just like nope, nope. This is nope, gore porn. Nope, I ain't. Nope. I declare no. So yeah, I mean, like, look, I understand why you're excited for it and why people would be excited for this. Oh god, I don't think I would be able to be able to get through that game with all.
That's the thing about survival horror. It's definitely not for everyone, But I mean, it's certainly for me. So.
So that we got Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn, which is like this third-person RPG game coming out sometime next year. We got Minecraft Legends, which is a action strategy game coming from the guys of Minecraft. We got Lightyear Frontier, which is just Stardew Valley with No Man's Sky kind of look. It comes out spring of 2023. Gunfire Reborn, which is a shoot 'em up roguelite that will be coming out in October of this year. The Last Case of Benedict Fox, which is this like story-focused Metroidvania game. They had this whole kind of gothic art with like this like.
That one actually looks okay. I know a lot of people were kind of like the whole hum about that, but that one actually looked okay.
No, I agree. Like I was intrigued by what was happening.
I don't want to get the impression that we're just painting this with broad strokes. I mean, there definitely was some good stuff in here. I mean, you can't show off this number of games without having at least a couple of them be interesting.
Why it feels like we're going fast because we'll talk about why that's the case. But no, I agree. I actually was intrigued by this. I was like, oh, okay, cool. As Dusk Falls, which is the first game from the developer called Interior/Night. It uses rotoscope graphics, and it's an interactive drama with drama playable with up to 8 people. It comes out July 19th, and it's on Game Pass. This one I was actually intrigued because it's heavily narrative driven, and I love those kind of games. So I am intrigued for that one. Naraka Blade Point is coming to consoles for the first time. That was that kind of like samurai action game that's coming. And that was coming to Xbox in pretty much going to be coming out by the time this video posts, it'll be live, it'll be out.
No, wait, wasn't that that was like the Chinese one though, wasn't it? Like wasn't Samurai? Yeah, I don't want to make the same mistake that I can't remember who made that mistake. They said it was like very like Japanese looking, but it's actually it's Chinese, I believe. So if we're talking about the same game.
Yeah, like let me just double check. Yeah, like or like Japanese. It's very like with samurais, and it's very like has RPG elements with it.
Okay, I don't know if it's the same one we're talking about.
I mean, I could be wrong. I just pretty much Googled it and I wanted to make sure.
It's okay. Move on. It's okay.
Okay. So then we got that. We got Pentiment. That was that really cool looking game with from like that Monty Python Holy Grail, when it's like the 2D stuff. Remember where it's like Obsidian's doing this. It's a narrative crime story set in the 16th century of Bavaria.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Remember, it was like, it's the people moving up and down, and like remember from Monty Python when God comes out and he's out of the sun and just his mouth is moving like this. You remember?
A very distinctive art style. Yeah,
yes.
I even commented at the time, I wish they would do another Monty Python game. They've actually had Monty Python games in the past, but I'd like to see one with kind of like this style of animation. I think you could have a lot of fun with that.
So yeah, that I was intrigued by that one because I was like, "Ooh, what is this?" So that one I was intrigued by. Grounded, which is finally out of early access, is actually becoming a full game. Erebon Shadow Legacy comes out sometime later in 2023. And then Diablo 4. Of course, they announced the Necromancer class and all of that kind of stuff. That is a game I'm looking forward to.
I mean, it's a game I will probably play, I guess. But I wouldn't say I'm really looking forward to it.
No, I agree. No. What I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I am like, because of what has been happening with Diablo Eternal, or like, is it Eternal? I can't even. Immortal. I'm sorry. Immortal. Because that game is terrible. That game is absolutely terrible. It uses actually every single like microtransaction tactic you can think of. Time gating, paywalling, XP boosts, buyable XP boosts, in order to get one singular character to full XP is like thousands of dollars. Like, it's ridiculous. So I am very hesitant because, like, of course, This is Activision Blizzard, the current Activision Blizzard, and for all we know, they could just go, okay, we're going to take the freaking marketplace store that we try to do in 3, and we're going to do it in this one. Oh, and we're going to add microtransactions, and paywalling, and time gates, and this, and that, and it's going to be terrible. So now they're going to take whatever they did in Immortal and transfer it into the actual game, and then, like, I don't know. They really shouldn't, and they really shouldn't do anything like this, because all the worries, all of the things that we were worried about when they announced Diablo Immortal at BlizzCon, you made fun of it. I chuckled at it. Like, they better not freaking do that in this game. But I wouldn't put it past current Activision Blizzard.
They kind of indicated already that they sort of already started the damage control, that they aren't going to be as aggressive with the microtransactions. But I mean, I don't know.
Aren't as aggressive. There's your underline. There's the quotes. Aren't as aggressive.
Even going back to, I mean, I don't know. It's really going to have a lot to live up to. I mean, for me, the series peaked at Diablo 2, and Diablo 3 major step backwards. It looks like they're trying to do a return to form to some degree of Diablo 4. I don't know. It's very much a wait and see type of thing. It's hard to be enthusiastic about Diablo, especially in the current state of where it's at today. Or Blizzard is in general as well too.
Oh yeah, like this is not the Blizzard that I loved way back when. This is not the Blizzard that I'm like, oh my god, you guys are amazing. No, the like ever since Blizzard and Activision merged, oh god, it's terrible. I hate it. Anyway, so we got this great trailer. I thought this was really cheeky and really like cute. The Sea of Thieves trailer, where it was very much like it was breaking the fourth wall and was telling you what was coming out, and they were doing a sea shanty and stuff. But the next season is coming out, and you can like buy, name, and captain a ship of your own. And Sea of Thieves is a great game. Sea of Thieves is currently a great game. And that's cool. I like that. We got this game. We got Ravenlock got announced. That's coming out in 2023. Cocoon, which is this sci-fi puzzle game. It's made by the guys of Inside and Limbo. We got Wulong Fallen Dynasty, which is a new game from Team Ninja, which is set in the Chinese Three Kingdoms. Was that the one that you were thinking of?
That must be it. That must be it. Yeah.
So they did the reveal trailer, and it's going to mix historical and supernatural elements. Again, I'm reading this from IGN. Including mythical creatures like dragons, and it'll come out early 2023. And of course, it'll be day one on Game Pass. Persona is coming to Xbox, so they're going to be putting Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 5 Royal. Persona 5 does have a release date, which is going to be coming out October 21st of this year. Hideo Kojima and Xbox will be having a partnership, and pretty much Microsoft and Kojima Studios are working on a brand new game, and that's all we know. We don't even know what the game is. I think it's like in alpha, like pre-alpha, like it's still being like made. We're probably not going to hear about this for another like 3-4 plus years. But like I was seeing this online that people were bashing Kojima and bashing Xbox and stuff, like, oh, you have betrayed us, Kojima. You were the PlayStation god, and I'm being dramatic and facetious and whatever the correct wording is, but pretty much people were bashing Kojima for making an Xbox exclusive with Microsoft, because Kojima had made Metal Gear on PlayStation all these years, and Death Stranding is a PlayStation exclusive, and and people
there's a multitude of things wrong with that. I mean, yeah, for one, Death Stranding is not a Pleistation exclusive.
I know
it was for a brief period of time,
and then now it's on PC. But like,
it's on PC now. But yeah, I mean, the idea that this guy is, he's supposed to be married to the PlayStation brand is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's and I'm not one to defend Hideo Kojima of all people, but I mean, yeah, this is just kind of pure kind of sort of the fanboy rage.
Yeah.
Kind of coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it seems like such a silly thing to get worked up over.
It's so dumb. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, the quote unquote Kojima of, like, if you're a fan of Kojima, you're excited to play this regardless. If it's on Xbox, you're excited to play it because Kojima's making it. But, like, if you're a Kojima fan and you're going like, oh, Kojima, you betrayed us. I can't believe it. Why would you go to Xbox? They're terrible.
And honestly,
what?
I mean, in this day and age, I mean, with the direction that things are going in right now, if you're a console player, you kind of have to have, if you really actually want to experience all games at this point, you have to have both systems or a PC. And you know, that's really the only way because otherwise you're just gonna be missing out. So I mean, not just this, I mean, other things like Starfield, for example. I mean, there are console exclusives now. So either you get a PC or you have to get both of them eventually anyways. And this is, that's what it's going to come down to for this game.
And can you, like, look, Kojima's like this, like, free spirit, like, guy who's like, I just want to go ahead and make games with everyone. Like, he's not, like, married to PlayStation. He's like, you know what? I never worked with Phil Spencer and those guys. I want to go ahead and work with Microsoft for a bit. I want to make a game for them. Cool. Like, mind you, Kojima Studios are still independent. They are not owned by Microsoft. They are not owned by PlayStation. They are still independent. So, like, get over it. I couldn't believe that people were upset about this. Like, come on, guys. Like, if you're looking forward to a Kojima making a game, be excited for it. But don't go ahead and be like, you betrayed us. It was supposed to be on PlayStation. Shut up. Anyway,
it's a silly thing to get worked up over. Yeah,
exactly.
Moving on. Yeah.
We're going to talk about the last part, which was Starfield. Which I think this was the best thing out of the entire show.
That's basically closed the show, right?
Yes, that was the last part. Pretty much that was when Todd Howard came out and he pretty much talked about a lot of different things about Starfield and everything like that. So, yeah, we got, like, ship combat, customization, a little bit more about the story. We got some gameplay. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I still have mixed emotions on the whole thing. I mean, in one hand, I mean, when they first started showing it off, I was really underwhelmed. I mean, what they showed us, they opened up with gameplay, and it looked very much like a Fallout in space, basically.
Yeah,
like a Fallout mod, essentially, with space themed and kind of NASA themed kind of assets, to it. But so I was kind of underwhelmed by that. But then they started talking about it a little bit, and they got into, like, oh, well, you can design a character, and they can have pros and cons to them. You can customize, not only your kind of your lunar base or your space your base that you have on the planet itself, but also your starship you customize as well too. There's space combat. You move around somewhat freely in space as well too. So I mean, there's intriguing things about that, but I don't know. At the same time, I think I think they're kind of over promising on a lot of things again too. Like at the very end of it, they talk about, like, there's 1,000 planets to visit. I mean, this is the No Man's Sky thing again. We know what this is going to be. This is going to be kind of procedurally generated places. This is not going to be handcrafted type of stuff. There's just not that much development time to possibly make all that stuff. It's just. I don't know. I
go ahead. Go finish. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I really have mixed emotions on the whole thing. Part of me is like, really, they when was Fallout 4 made? That was like what, like 2014 or
let me see.
Fallout 4 release date was 2015, November 2015.
Jesus.
So, that's going back like 7 years now. I mean, that was their last aside from like Fallout 76, I mean, that was like their last like major single player game, and even that was underwhelming as well too. Fallout 4 is nobody's favorite. But I mean, to spend all this development time and this is what you produce, it's like I almost would have rather they went back to the drawing board and they did like a Fallout 5 or a New Vegas 2 or something like that. Like, I don't know. I'm not really sold on this world of Starfield just yet. I'm sure it's going to be fun to play and entertaining. And I'm sure there's going to be a pretty active modding community, just like there is for most Bethesda games. So I will inevitably play the game, but at the same time, it's not like I'm dying to play it. You know, if I could just pick one game I could play right now, it would not be Starfield.
I mean, like, the thing is, I'm looking at this because Fallout 76, because yes, Fallout 4 was Bethesda, developer was Bethesda Game Studio, and then Bethesda Softworks, Bethesda Game Studios, Bethesda Game Studio Austin then worked on Fallout 76, and then for Starfield it's Bethesda Softworks, so it's just them. So I
mean, you know what I'm saying, like, part of the overall Bethesda
yeah. Like,
I know it's more than one team, you know.
Yeah, so like, I look. I will say, like, because a lot of people are like, look at this No Man's Sky. Look at this trying to be No Man's Sky. Man, you're just trying to just rip off No Man's Sky. I'm like, guys, do you remember when No Man's Sky came out and it wasn't a good game? Like, yo, you guys need to remember, it took like years for No Man's Sky to be good. This is Bethesda. Skyrim came out and there were bugs up the wazoo. Skyrim was unplayable on the PS3 when it first came out. That game crashed over and over again. Like, I didn't actually play Skyrim until like years later when it was finally patched up. There were glitches on the 360. Like, this is Bethesda we're talking about. Like, you think this is going to go ahead and be like that? I mean, mind you, they have Xbox money behind them, so maybe it'll be better. But like, I am looking forward to Starfield because of, like, the ship combat was my selling point for me. I was like, ooh, you can create your own ship, and how you create your ship, there's gonna be pros and cons to how you build it. You can make a glass cannon where it's like overpowered and can beat down any and all ships, but if you take like 3 hits, you're dead. Like, you know, I like that. I like that kind of thing. The pros and cons where you kind of like, how do you want to build yourself and that kind of stuff. That's cool. I disagree with a lot of people saying that this is just No Man's Sky. No, it's not. No Man's Sky is very different to this. No Man's Sky, you can get off on a ship and fly over the planet and whatever and stuff, and then fly into space and then go to planet. You don't do that in Starfield. You could say, I'm going to leave planet and go to that planet, like in Destiny. Like, there's differences in gameplay. Like, No Man's Sky is a crafting and building system that also has combat, that has like starship combat also, that also has a PvE, PvP kind of aspect to it. This is a single player game. Like, there's DLC, there's most likely going to be DLC, so this is not an ever-evolving game like No Man's Sky. This is a single-player game that will get add-ons and patches and things added on as time progresses. This is not like No Man's Sky. I get why people make the joke or the meme or whatever. It is not the same. At least in my opinion. I will say that in my opinion. It is not the same. But overall, wow, this was bad. I'm not even gonna lie. This, like, I mean, yes, going through game by game, there were things I liked and things I didn't like. But I liked Summer Game Fest over this, definitely. This felt very just, okay, here's the list, here's the games, here's this. It was a lot of, like, niche stuff if you liked it. The big games were very generic. The only good thing, honestly, where I'm like, ooh, I'm looking forward to this, is Starfield. That's it. Like, you know, yeah, I freaked out when the Pelican is going to be in, you know, going to be added into Flight Simulator. Great. Plague Tale Requiem, I am looking forward to, but I've already known about this game. You didn't give me anything new. Yes, you gave me news.
There's nothing shocking or like that really stole the show here. You know, it was good to finally get some more information, like some real information on Starfield, but that was about it. You know, I mean, there was not much to go on here. You know, I mean, it was really very, very underwhelming.
Like, even for Starfield, it's just still 2023. We don't even have a date yet. It's just 2023. And like, we did get a Xbox.
Yes, you know, Well, actually, now you bring that up. I mean, looking at the glass half full, a couple of commendable things I'll say about the show. One, they all the games that were announced. That was a point they made very early on. All the games that they announced or showed off in this presentation are coming out within the next year. So it was nice to have, I know I don't know. I like to have like some teasers for like distant games in the future, but it is also nice that like you're showing the game off and it's going to be coming out relatively soon. It's not like this is some far flung thing that's going to be changed and could be completely different in a couple of years from now. It's actually coming out within a year. Even Starfield should be theoretically coming out within a year. So I like that, and I also like that they really focused on games and just games exclusively. Like there wasn't a lot of like fluff or filler or nonsense or pandering or anything like that. This was really a games presentation, and that was it. I mean, you had your usual marketing, buzzword stuff in there about, Game Pass and this and that and console exclusive this or whatever. But for the most part, this was just a game focused convention or presentation. And that is commendable. Even if I was underwhelmed by the content of it, it is commendable that they actually did a presentation that, was to the point and succinct and actually did base. I wish every presentation was like that, like where it didn't have that fluff and filler, and it showed off games that we're actually going to be playing relatively soon.
No, I agree with you there. Like they very much were like, hey, the games that we're going to be announcing are within the next 12 months. It's going to be within until the end of this year into 2023, and that's it. We are not going to talk about again. So by knowing that and what they announced, mind you, I even before when we started, I was like, where's Fable? Where's Awoken? Where's where are those games that we saw when they announced the Xbox series? Where are these big games that we were looking for? But I understand what they were like, they're not ready yet. And look, if they're not ready, don't announce them. Don't do it until you're ready. Like, all right, we're like, here's the game. It's going to come out 6 months from now or whatever the hell. Like, that's okay. It's just that the games that you had, and your two big games, which is Redfall and Starfield, aren't coming out until next year, and we don't know when until next year. That one I will say, but it is until next year. And I am a proponent of, if they're not ready, push them into next year or whatever. But so the original showcase, I'd probably still give it a 2, because kind of looking through it, there were stuff that I was looking forward to. Like Pentiment and, Sea of Thieves and Requiem, Plague Tale Requiem, and then Starfield and that kind of stuff. But it felt very just generic, just kind of just very here's the stuff and here you go, and that's it. I don't know. I was very just underwhelmed by this.
Same. Really, I mean, yeah.
So I'm just going to add this into that, because later on in the week, we got an extended showcase where they kind of had sit down. It was like a panel where they had sit downs with different developers and stuff. So they announced some stuff, like a game called Valheim is coming to Xbox. They sat down with Bethesda's Pete Hines had a sit down, and he talked about why they delayed Redfall and Starfield, which is so that way it's up to the Bethesda standard, which is just okay. Pretty much they talked about Elder Scrolls Online, which the next expansion, pretty much they talked about the two online games. So they talk about Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Online. Then they talked more about Starfield. Then they talk about Naraka Blade Point. Again, all of this was just really long sit downs talking about each of the different games that they showed at the original showcase. They showed there was a trailer for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is a multiplayer horror game made by the guy, which is pretty much going to be in the same vein of Friday the 13th, Predator Hunting Grounds, and Dead by Daylight. And then we got more to look on, like we got to look at Pertinent and As Dusk Falls, and then the Hot Wheels expansion, Minecraft Legends, and then they talked more. And then at the end, they talked about Stalker 2, which is being worked on in the Ukraine. That's why we haven't heard, we haven't heard from it because of everything that's happening over in Ukraine. So again, it was just kind of more sit down and explain, like, and they pretty much were like, here are the big stuff, the big things that you're excited for. So cool. But yeah, Xbox, again, I was very underwhelmed by the Xbox showcase.
Same here. I agree 100%.
But I know you liked this. The PC gaming show. The show itself was actually very fun. I actually haven't. That was like the first time I think we sat down to watch this. Like we did this on the channel. I don't think we did it last year.
Yeah, I think I watched it probably by myself last year. But I mean, I guess to summarize it, we don't necessarily have to go for every single game for it, but because there's a lot of repeats in it as well too. Like it shows Scorn again, for example. But I mean, really, it's definitely self-aware. It's a show that to some degree is smaller scale. It doesn't really have it showcases a lot of smaller titles, more kind of indie-esque titles. It's not really about showing like the super heavy hitter games. Yeah. I mean, really the headliner of the show, I would say the one that really stood out was System Shock Enhanced Edition. So that was probably the big game there, and it's something we knew about before as well too. It wasn't like a big reveal or anything, but
I didn't know about that. So
you didn't know about it, yeah. But it was nice to have Warren Spectre there. Of course, always a pleasure to have him there. Speaking about the the game and kind of his he's looking forward to kind of playing through this game as well too, and kind of having a fresh experience of with this game again as well too. So that was a treat. I mean, really, the PC game show overall. I mean, yeah, there wasn't like. I mean, it didn't. I mean, you can go back and watch the stream. I was pretty underwhelmed for the first half of it or so, and then it started to pick up. We saw another presentation of Scorn, like I said, this time with Doug Bradley, which enhanced the experience, tenfold. So we had that. We saw. I think Warhammer was in there as well too at some point, I believe, unless I'm mistaken.
I'll just kind of go through the games. You stop me if there is. So just again, Solstice is coming, which is like an action RPG game. Rotwood, which is this like cutesy, like pretty much you had these like animal fighting game, cartoonish kind of things. It's like I think it was like a. It's like a Monster Slayer or whatever. Technical Breach Wizards, which is like an XCOM kind of thing. The Invincible, which was like that trailer where like robots were coming to kill you and like that kind of stuff. Endless Dungeon, which is a game. It's from a roguelite from Sega and Amplitude. Deceive Inc., which takes cues from Deathloop. The Altars, which
was one that looks actually pretty interesting, just for its concept. Kind of this cloning idea. Yeah, that looks actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's made by the guys of. It's from 11-Bit Studios, the guys who made Children of Morta and This War of Mine, which are two very good games. Again, we've got another trailer for Outriders World Slayer, Poisoncraft, which used that same kind of. It used the same animation style like Pertinent did. But it was like it was more of a crafting game. We got Super Animal Royal, Nitro Kid, Maho Kenshi, The Killing Floor 2, Title Terror, Arma 4, Abyssals, and Decarnation. I Am Future, System Shock, which you talked about. Immortality, which is from Sam Barlow, Demon School, more Scorn. We got a more in-depth look at Stormgate, which we actually got gameplay shown, which I was like, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Gloomwood, which is let's see, New Blood. Pretty much they're working on a new game. Back Firewall, Norland, Them's Fighting Herds. which is like a brawling game. That you pretty much it's little ponies fighting each other. That was like, I think it's a Smash Brothers clone. It looked like Core Keeper Sunken Sea DLC, Farthest Frontier, Synergy, Icarus Styx DLC, and then we got this like mod for Half-Life Alyx, which is called Half-Life Alyx Levitation, which is pretty much a 4 to 5 story base campaign for Half-Life Alyx. And yeah, so PC game show, some cool stuff. Again, not my cup. I'm not a PC guy, but there were some games in here I was like, oh hey.
Well, really, in the show, I was trying to say this before too. The show is relevant to everybody because it, a lot of these games are going to be on console as well too. So it's not really just a PC show. It's really a show that it features a whole host of games that everyone will probably get to play at some point.
Yeah, no, I definitely do agree. But for me, I'd probably like with all the little like cutesy stuff. I don't know. I'd probably say it wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was just kind of there. So maybe a 3. I don't know. It was, to me, I was like, oh, cool. And that was it.
It seems about right. It didn't seem, there wasn't like any kind of like earth shattering announcement. I was hoping for something like another Command & Conquer remaster or remake or stuff like that. There wasn't really anything like new here. It just was like stuff we'd seen before, maybe from a different angle this time. But it was, there wasn't like anything like, wow, like this is a big reveal. So I think that's why a lot of people felt underwhelmed by it.
And I think like unlike Summer Game Fest and Xbox Bethesda Showcase, like those were like, the reason those were like weaker than this is because with the PC gaming show is like, you kind of know what you're getting into. It's built for PC fans. And yes, there are games that are coming to consoles too. Like there were games that were shown from the Xbox Showcase and so on and so on. But like you kind of know what you're getting into, and I think with like it kind of took keys from Devolver Digital. I love Devolver Digital showcases because it does not take itself seriously. They still announce new games, but it does not take itself seriously at all, and that's what I love about Devolver Digital. And it was kind of like the same vein, like they were like very much like making fun of themselves, and not overtly. Like Devolver Digital is very much like their showcase this year was, they focused on the countdown to the actual showcase because like celebrities show up. It's like it's the pre-show before the actual show, and you have celebrities come on and so they were making fun of that, but they still turned it into like, here are the new games we're doing. This one, it was very like cute. It was very like tongue-in-cheek, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, and I kind of like that to some degree. I like that it doesn't take itself so incredibly seriously,
So yeah, so what did you think of this again?
I mean, overall, pretty like, not terrible, not all that great. I mean, probably like a 3 out of 5 sounds about right. 2.5 out of 5, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
I say that as a PC fan, of course,
Of course. But again, like I gave it a 3 because like you know what you're getting into. It is what it is. Where I think with Bethesda and with Xbox Bethesda and Summer Game Fest, there's a lot more. They kind of set the bar, and in my opinion, they didn't meet the bar. So that's why it's a 2 out of 5 instead of just a 3 out of 5. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just really quickly, I'm just going to quickly go over Devolver Digital. So they announced some new games. They announced Cult of Lamb, which you play as a possessed lamb who must start a cult in order to pay back the strange spirit who saved his life. Collect resources, gain followers, and rid the world of false prophets to become the one true cult and lamb god. It comes to PC and consoles August 11th. Angerfoot, pretty much is you play as a dude who's exceptionally good at 2 things: kicking down doors and taking out monsters. It's very, very over the top. It's a lightning fast FPS action game that comes to PC next year. Card Shock is a game that's already came out. Pretty much is set in 18th century France. The game tasks you with daunting, extremely high risk mission of rising to the top of French society. So it's a fun little card game set in 18th century France. The Plucky Squire. It's the beautifully animated adventure game that follows a young squire named Jot, who is rudely kicked out of his storybook by the Tales villain and must begin the biggest multi-dimensional adventure of his life. Throughout the game, Jot must switch between exploring the 2D top-down storybook world and roaming around the 3D world that looks a bit like something out of a Pixar movie. This comes to PS5 series and Switch, Xbox Series and PC. And next year, and Skate Story, and it comes out pretty much. In Skate Story, you play as a demon made of glass, skating through a beautiful yet ruthlessly oppressive underworld. Luckily, you manage to convince the devil to strike a deal with you. If you skate to the moon and swallow it, he'll allow you to leave hell scot-free. Skate Story forges the usual chipper tone of skate games along with a dark, moody, and dazzling mood. It comes to PC in 2023. Again, Devolver Digital is very nichey and very different. If you're looking forward to these games, you'll like it. If not, it is what it is. I just wanted to quickly bring these up. The Devolver Digital showcases are fun. But whatever they show is whatever you show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't make it a point to watch it. You know, it's more your thing almost. You know,
well, yeah, mind you, I enjoy niche games. And it's I like the Devolver Showcase only because it's very self-aware and it makes fun of itself. I actually enjoy it for the showcase itself more than the games that they show. It's very rare where whatever game they announce, I'm like, oh, I'm excited for this. I'm just like this thing. They're making fun of themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have a lot of different showcases. We're going to be really quick about these because these are really short showcases. We're going to talk about the Capcom showcase, which we got a ton of details of different stuff coming out, and so on and so on. So let's see. Pretty much, of course, we're getting. Let's see. Of course, I'm getting this from IGN. So, Resident Evil 4 remake. We got some gameplay for it. Pretty much, they're doing a huge addition to this. They pretty much the ability for Leon Kennedy to move while aiming his gun. That's a big deal. That they're going to be doing that in this game. So now you don't stop and shoot. You can actually move. So pretty much, again, they're taking Resident Evil 4 and putting a mod and pretty much bringing it into the current age, using the same engine that they've been using for, Monster Hunter and Resident Evil and all that kind of stuff.
And I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's. We'll talk about that a little bit more when it gets a little closer to being actually released. But I'm looking forward to that. I'm a big fan of Resident Evil 4, of course. Mm-hmm. Great game. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how their more modern take on it.
Mm-hmm. Resident Evil Village is going to be getting an expansion, which is Winter's expansion, which includes Shadows of Rose DLC. Pretty much it's going to follow Ethan Winter's daughter, and it's going to be pretty much serving as a sequel to the main campaign. And this will take place in third person instead of first person. And then pretty much the Resident Evil Village's Mercenaries mode will allow you to play as Lady Dimitrescu, pretty much one of the main villains from the game. So that's a big deal. And Resident Evil Village will be getting a third-person mode. And then they announced that
actually sounds kind of interesting.
I like the other. Me too. I'm like, ooh. Resident Evil 2 remake, Resident Evil 3 remake, and Resident Evil 7 are all will get next gen upgrades. So pretty much now they're pretty much polished 4K, 60 frames per second, all of the stuff that the reason why you play on Xbox Series and PS5. Now they have PS5 and Series upgrades now, which is really cool. They finally announced that the Resident Evil Reverse, which is like that multiplayer battle royale, or like 6v6 or whatever, that multiplayer stuff, that's going to come out in October. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak expansion is going to be getting pretty much. We got new details of the next Monster Hunter Rise, along with a demo, which you can play the demo right now. Exo Primal, it got a gameplay trailer, and they're going to be doing a closed network test, which pretty much is the Capcom's upcoming co-op dinosaur murder action game. And they showed gameplay and stuff. Pretty much, it's a tease of the PvPvE game story, gameplay, and some of the dinosaurs the players get that need to battle. So like Evolve or Friday the 13th. So like one player plays as this big huge dino, and then you have a team of like 4 or 3 or whoever and do that. We're going to be getting pretty much Street Fighter 6 is going to get more announcements as the year goes on. And the big thing that they ended on is that Dragon Dogma is going to be getting a 10th anniversary event teased. Pretty much. And at that, they announced Dragon Dogma 2. Like, that was the big thing. So like,
I mean, I'm not personally a huge fan of the game, but I know that's something a lot of people are looking forward to. It definitely has a fan base for that. So,
that's really good. I love Dragon Dogma, and that's going to be rad. So it is what it is. Yeah. I'm not going to grade these because these are really short. It's really hard to kind of grade these because it is what it is. So the next one we got was the Assassin's Creed 15th anniversary stream. Again, I'm going to go over this very quickly. So we got more stuff for Valhalla, which is there's the Forgotten Saga free game mode, which is going to be added into Valhalla, which is the final part of Ivor's story. And that will come out near the end of this year. The Discovery Tour of the Viking Age, which has been in the past 2, including, and then third, including this one, which is like, hey, here's the history of the game it's set in. Here's the history of the Vikings, blah, 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 blah. Pretty much, for Assassin's Creed Origins, they put in a 60 frames per FPS patch. So now, and it pretty much like they put in a new patch for Assassin's Creed Origins, which is great. And then Ubisoft, then at the end, there's the future of Assassin's Creed. Ubisoft said that they'll reveal the future of Assassin's Creed in September with a very special event. Pretty much, this could be the heavily rumored Assassin's Creed Rift, which is a smaller scale story focused on Valhalla's Basim character. Or it could be the less rumored Assassin's Creed remake, which I would be down with if they remake Assassin's Creed 1. But it could also be...
I'd be down for that too, actually.
Oh, boy.
I was disappointed by Assassin's Creed 1, but I think you could do some interesting things with a remake.
Assassin's Creed 1's story is great. I understand why people don't like it because it is very repetitive. But I'm a huge... Like, I love Assassin's Creed. Like, that's part of the reason, like, our channel's name partially came from Assassin's Creed. So I would love to see, like, the narrative of Assassin's Creed 1 is great. But it is repetitive. You go to a city, do 3 tasks, kill the dude in the district, go back and do it again, and then it progresses the story. But it is a very good game. I still will say Assassin's Creed 1 is a very good game. It is not Assassin's Creed 2 or Brotherhood, because Brotherhood is the apex of Assassin's Creed. But still, I speak very highly of Assassin's Creed 1. Or it could be Assassin's Creed Infinity, which could be the live service game that has been rumored also, which please let it not be that. I love Assassin's Creed, but my God, please don't do that. But I wouldn't put it past Ubisoft to go ahead and do a god dang live service game of this franchise, which, God help me. So yeah, again, it's fun stuff, cool stuff. It is what it is. And then, of course, the final part that we're going to talk about was the Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary celebration stream, which pretty much they showed a trailer for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is the second part of Final Fantasy VII Remake. And it's going to be coming next winter, so winter of 2023 on the PS5. So again, timed exclusive or only exclusive, whatever. So it's going to be doing that. So it's going to be in 3 parts. It's going to be a trilogy. So, and this is a prequel. So it's this, then remake, and then whatever the next one would be. And then they announced Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Reunion. So this is going to be focuses on Zach Blair, which is the Buster sword-wielding soldier who had a huge important role on it. This is pretty much a full remaster of the PSP original and is going to be coming to modern platforms. It comes out this winter on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series, Xbox One, Steam, and Switch. And then also Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, which is like the complete, kind of had the expansion, the DLC, that kind of stuff. It's all coming to PC. Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier. This is the Battle Royale thing that's coming. That's there. And then Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, which is it's part of their mobile. It's a mobile game that you can play, and they're doing that kind of stuff. And yeah, so what did you think of this?
Well, it was nice to finally get Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate or whatever on Steam. That was it was kind of held hostage for about a year. Yeah, over on Epic Games Store. So now it is available on Steam. So we can actually play it now. Legit. But yeah, so that was good. It is good that they are at least announcing the next game in the now trilogy. Mm-hmm. So that's at least we have a date for that as well too, kind of or a season I should say for that as well. Crisis Core, good to see that actually getting another release. I mean, it's been trapped on the PSP for how long now, and I mean, who has a PSP anymore? So it's good to see that getting it's gonna have a chance for people to actually play it. I think I played it myself very briefly, and like I said, I keep giving the disclaimer, I'm not a Final Fantasy fan. Mm-hmm. But I did play it myself briefly. It was interesting. It was okay. I can't really recall enjoying it too much, but I mean, hey, maybe I'll give it another try now. Mm-hmm. I would like to see actually the game where you get to play as Vincent for Dirge of Cerberus. I believe that was the game. It was sort of like an action-y kind of spin-off game. It was on the PlayStation 2. Yeah. It was entertaining. I think I actually finished that game, and even though I still remember to this day, I almost like glitched myself out of finishing that game, but I managed to finish it. It was enjoyable for what it was. It didn't like blow me away or anything, but I mean, it would be nice to have like a re-release of that. I would go back and revisit that because I recall having like a decent time with it. Mm-hmm. So I welcome these kind of these re-releases as well too. I know they showed off like a mobile game on there. It's just like a couple mobile things, whatever, So, but yeah, I mean, the big takeaways here are you can play it on Steam now. And we have the next game in the trilogy coming out end of next year. Yep. And presumably we'll have to wait another 6 months to a year after that to actually play it on Steam as well too. But hey, we just got the first one on Steam, so we got we can play that for now.
You got time, but yeah, plenty of time. Yep. And those are all the different showcases that happened for E3. Before we go, overall, Spectre, what did you think? Just like as a whole, what would you grade this not E3?
I mean, overall, I'd say it's like really, I don't feel comfortable giving it anything higher than like a 2 out of 5 or something like that. It was very underwhelming. Surprisingly, the state of play was the only like real highlight. Everything else was just very blah, not much that really caught anybody's attention. And I can even tell just looking at the chat as we were watching the videos. It just really, I think people expected a lot more, and there just was not much there to see at all. We saw the gameplay of Starfield. That was probably the most important part of the Xbox presentation. We got, like I said, I have my kind of my horror renaissance coming, which is great. With Scorn and Dead Space remake, Callisto Protocol. So that's good for me and for horror fans. But otherwise, there's not really much. There's not really much here to look forward to. We really needed like a Nintendo showing, which we might get some sort of update from them soon, I guess. But it feels incomplete this year. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how next year goes with an actual physical E3 presence again. Maybe who knows? Maybe we could actually go to that. It's been a long time since I've been to an E3. I was in E3 2011. That was 11 years ago now. So it'd be interesting to go back. And,
I agree.
Especially after all this time.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
Overall though, just very, very like 2 out of 5. Not fantastic. Not really all that interesting. A couple of good games here and there, but I mean, when you show off like 100 games, chances are you're going to have at least a couple that are interesting.
No, I agree. Like with this, not E3 2022, this was very much a 2 out of 5. Overall kind of thing. I pretty much you summed up everything I was thinking. So yeah. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. We talked about a lot of stuff today. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/Brotherhood of Geeks. Like, comment, share, subscribe, tell everyone you know, tell everyone you don't know about what we do, because we always do appreciate it. And please let us know what was your favorite showcase, what was your favorite game, what you liked, what you didn't like, all that kind of stuff. Please let us know in the comments. We would love to go ahead and talk more to you about all this stuff. And also press the bell icon. That way, whenever we put up a video, we put up a video. And also press the like button, because that way, if you like our stuff, it tells YouTube that you like our stuff, and more people know about us, and that's what we want, and that's what you want, and all that kind of stuff. Or I'm just talking blah. But anyway, please press the like button. We really do greatly appreciate it. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at Dualshock'd, BOG. That's the name of this PlayStation podcast, Dualshock'd. BOG. You can also follow us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/The Brotherhood of Geeks. You can also follow us on Instagram at Twitch. I'm sorry, we have a Twitch channel where we need to go ahead and stream at twitch.tv/Brotherhood of Geeks.
It's a channel we don't use.
Yet. Don't worry. Don't worry. We will take care of that. There'll be much more streaming coming up very, 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 very soon. Also, go to our Instagram, which is instagram.com/Brotherhood of Geeks, and that is everything. So yeah. Any other last words you want to go ahead and say, Spectre?
No, that was it. So well, I guess we can start the excitement for next year.
Yeah.
Already. It can't possibly be more underwhelming than this, right? You would presume, right?
Yep.
We'll see if I kind of eat my words here, but we'll find out. Let's check.
I agree.
In a year.
I hope next year is going to be a blast. We have some good games coming out next year and a bunch of other stuff, but we still have half of this year left, and we still got some bangers coming out. So we'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to next year. But yeah. So with that being said, I'm Brett J. Rasmussen.
And I'm Spectre.
And as always, live to play together. We'll see you guys next time.